This is 55 TV and we are with Maxim. How are you doing?
I'm good, really good.
We've had a look around to your exhibition and your work. It's quite hard to construct an interview for me if I haven't seen the work, and I didn't know if I would, but I did get to see it and I'm so impressed with it. It's such a beautiful piece of painting and body that you've done.
Yeah. Oh, thanks a lot. You know, it's got there in the end. Do you know what I mean? It's just an idea I had like 6 months ago, and obviously when you got an idea, it's hard to put it into. You know, it's hard, you know, to translate it from your head actually and get it out there. So,
sure.
I'm quite pleased with the way it's turned out. You know?
What doing something physical like painting, and doing something like music, which isn't physical as you release it to the public, what is the difference you found in this?
I think you can make more mistakes in art and get away with it. Obviously, you haven't seen the imperfections in the paintings yet, have you? But
that's the art, isn't it?
There's imperfections to me, but not to you. No, you know, I find it like with imperfections. Do you know what I mean when you go wrong in art? You know, when it's not turned out how you expected, you can. It sometimes takes you somewhere else. You know, and then there's a lot of times I've made mistakes with the resin, for instance, and I found a new technique how to use the resin. You know, and how to layer a painting in a different way. So. Mistakes always kind of like take me somewhere else. That's what I like about it.
But the mistakes in the art world, you know, they're expected, and it's something where you grow from. As I'm sure you know from the music industry after doing it for many, many years.
Yeah, I mean, art and music, there's no comparison really. Do you know what I mean? One's one form of creativity, one's another form. Do you know what I mean? You can't really link the two. Do you know what I mean? It's just another form of creativity. But you know. They have their own, how can I say this, their own release, do you know what I mean? They have their own release, and you can't compare them, do you know what I mean? You can't really compare them, do you know what I mean? Not at all.
Why did you get to this point in your life and decide you wanted to do something physical with painting that's also quite isolated? Because when you work with music, you're in a band and you work with a team. Yeah. What brought you to this stage at the moment?
Well, it's just a personal thing, isn't it, art? Do you know, you can't say, you can't get three people together and say, come on, let's do a painting. Do you know what I mean? Well, you can, but I didn't want to, you know. So it's a personal thing, do you know what I mean? It's just 100% me. You know, when you're in a band, there's a compromise, and it's three of you working together, and you know, you're not going to 100% agree with what goes on, you know, but. That's the nature of being in a band, is a compromise, do you know what I mean? But when you're doing art on your own, it's just you. It's your whole ideas. You put your whole ideas into that picture or whatever. So I kind of like that. I like that freedom, do you know? And it also gives me a freedom just to get away from the mundane things in life, do you know what I mean? It kind of takes me somewhere else when I'm painting, you know, and I love it. Once I get into the art studio, I'm in there for hours upon hours, and before I know it, it's like 10 o'clock at night and I haven't eaten anything, you know, and by that time, you know, I need to go to bed now. Wake up next day, 7 o'clock, start again. And I love that, you know. That's the same thing with, I suppose that has a similar kind of effect in music as well, because when you're in the studio and you got a good buzz on with a tune, the hours just fly by, do you know what I mean? I think that's the same with all creativity, do you know what I mean? The time just flies by because you're enjoying yourself, and I found that in art, so it's cool.
It becomes kind of addictive, doesn't it? And you know, it's the best and it's the worst drug. You can't kind of get away from it. With the music industry and with being an artist now, it's a long period of time. But you've always been an artist. Well, you've always been an artist. But are you born an artist, you reckon?
Of course you are. Everybody's born an artist. You're an artist.
Okay.
Look at the way you dress. It's an art form of some sorts. You know, not really my style, but it's some kind of art form.
But I didn't always dress like this. It took me a while to achieve something and get a style that I liked and something that I felt was mine and nobody else's.
It's definitely yours. Nobody else could drop that style.
I take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. You come from the first stage of the rave scene, like me. Do you think that was a massive change in the art field that came on?
To put things straight, I didn't come from the rave scene. I was pre-rave scene, do you know what I mean? I was in the party scene, but, you know, that's not where I come from, do you know what I mean? When you say I come from my mother's womb, that's where I come from, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't come from any scene, you know? I dive in, dive out on all different kind of levels and all different things. Do you know what I mean? That's my makeup. But so you can't really categorise me as coming from any kind of thing. No pigeonholes. You know, I'm just me.
Do you think that in the late 80s was a kind of a revolutionary time for youth, and it was maybe, would you say it was the last time that youth really kind of propelled themselves? After that, things became a lot more commercial?
No. Obviously, that was a big time. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing as like when, you know, ska movement, punk movement, the party scene, yeah. But you know, kids, you can't take anything away from kids today because they've got their own outlets. Do you know what I mean? As much as technology's changed, you know, people's way of thinking changes as well. Do you know what I mean? And people find other ways of expressing themselves. So you can't take anything away from the kids today who are doing their thing. Do you know what I mean? I think art today is the art what I've seen today. Do you know what I mean? Is out there, man. Do you know what I mean? It's on a different level to art 20 years ago. So I think technology's played a big part in that, and you know, I think there's some good art out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's great to see that everybody can be accessible to art and to express themselves through technology. I mean, we really embrace it as 55 Factory. It's why we're around. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be around. 20 years ago, it would be impossible.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like giving power back to the people, technology. Do you know, it's taking it out of the corporate companies and people who control everything. You know, artists probably 20 years ago couldn't get seen, couldn't get heard, you know, because all the corporates and the big galleries didn't want to know them and so forth. But now, you know, technology's like yourself, do you know what I mean? You probably do street artists and interview other artists, what, you know, would never be seen by the big galleries. So it's a good way of, you know, and all you have to do is do searches on the internet for names and so forth, and you see art, which you stumble across. I always stumble across art on the internet, do you know what I mean, which is kind of out of this world, you know. There's a couple of, I mean, personally, I'm into more like taxidermy and things like that, you know. And I've seen, I discovered this guy called Thomas Doyle. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he does
We'll check him out.
He does like, he creates these scenes in glass domes, you know, and with little miniature people and so forth. Like, for instance, someone burying a body in a forest, so it's a little forest and the body's there with a coat thrown over it, and someone with a shovel, you know, and little miniatures, and all these little scenes in little domes, you know. And if you don't search for things, you know, just do random searches and look around, you would never find that without the internet. So that's a beauty of technology. It's got its pros and cons, you know.
I'm sure. There's a religion plays a part in your work that you've done at the moment. Why have you pulled this into it? Are you a religious person?
No, which piece is that?
You've got a piece that's got like the crucifix that's coming through the clouds and through the church, is it?
That's kind of like, that one's called Trash Souls, and it's kind of more of a, that's more of, if anything, that's quite a most personal painting to me. You know, it's kind of like when I get pissed up at night and wake up in the morning feeling shit, you know.
I wouldn't know, no.
Yeah, many people do that. So, and that's what that represents, that painting. Do you know what I mean? That's what it's called, Trash Souls, because I feel like I trash my soul, do you know, right. And I'm falling, you know, from the skies. But, you know, the actual crucifix, no, I'm not, you know, religious of any sorts, you know what I mean? I believe in a higher being, whatever it's called, or whatever the name you want to put towards it.
Sure.
I don't know. But, you know, the symbolism of the cross, I just put that on there it's just a symbol, just to show, so people can relate to good and bad, and how I saw myself as, like, you know, I feel like me feeling bad and falling from the skies, right. You know, and kind of putting that into the religious context, but I'm not religious myself, no.
What are you pulling out of yourself that you do in your music? Obviously you exercise something, but in your art it's a personal thing that's purely, it's only on your own. What are you, what is the fine bit, the animalistic bit you're pulling out of yourself, would you say?
You know, for art, for me, it's expression, do you know what I mean? But art also is about finding out about yourself, you know?
Absolutely.
And that's what it's doing. I still don't even know myself, man, so maybe the next collection of works, maybe I'll know myself a bit better.
I think that was the correct answer there. It's taken you 6 months.
I don't know if it's the correct one, but it's my answer.
That's correct for 55 TV. I agree with you. It's taken you 6 months to do this body of work, yeah?
No, not at all. This body of work's taken like 2 years.
Okay.
When I said 6 months, I was talking about the actual, just creating the space and the concept of how I'm going to show the paintings. That took 6 months.
Okay.
You know, originally I was thinking of doing it in a tunnel, and you know, the concept behind doing it in a dark room with sound, you know, not over the top sound, but just sound in the background and the scent and the floor covering is just to. When you look at art, you're normally just triggering one of your senses, which is just looking at a painting. I was trying to trigger a few more senses, so you kind of got a bigger picture of my art and the whole space. And that's kind of, when I go to a gallery, sometimes I go to art exhibitions and galleries and I'm in there for 2 minutes. I look at it and I walk out. Yeah, that's good. No, that's good. No, I don't like that. And I'm out. It doesn't last long enough. You know, I want a better experience than that, and I just wanted to create a better experience upstairs so people can, whether they feel anxious in there, whether they feel comforted, whether they feel relaxed, or you know, feel like they're looking behind them and I need to get out. That's what I want to do. I want to create a reaction.
Great. It's nice to see you. It's great to see your work. We're very impressed. We really like what you're doing, and we will like to do something with you in the future.
Oh, cool, man.
This is 55 TV.